One day you'll just be eating meat. I think you'd die from that. You need vegetables, you need fruits.
Yeah,
you need all
right.
sorts
No,
of
you
things.
don't. I know. It's weird. It's hard to believe.
So she was on a ton of medication, like hospitalized all the time, couldn't figure it out. And then, after about 3 months, it was like no more meds at all.
Wow.
And I said this before we were recording, but she reassures me, like, I'm not doing this to be cool. I really don't want to eat like this. But when she doesn't, so she had a bit of chicken, had a little bit of soy on it. She was sick for a week in bed. Is that kind of like yourself or?
Close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough. A lot of things that were wrong with me have disappeared. Things that were very long-standing. Things that don't heal. I had gum disease, which never heals. It's 100% gone, and it was very serious. And that's a marker for cardiovascular inflammation, right? It's not just, some trivial problem with your teeth. Not that that's trivial, because it's not. But that's not curable, and it's gone 100%. Took about 3 years. Long time.
So how long have you been doing carnivore?
7 years.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Do you still miss food?
Of course. Yeah, it's very restricted. Yeah. Most things I don't miss. I miss dairy and
that's what,
like sugar. Sweet. I miss sweet ice cream, for example, has been a real problem.
So that's what she knows she needs to cut out now, because she's been doing steak and sticks of butter in hot water. Yeah. And then I think she needs to cut out the milk, because that's the...
Could be.
Yeah. But this brings us to an interesting point, because I mentioned that 10 years ago, if you had said this is a viable diet, no one would have believed you. Here's the point. In the internet...
Just shows you what we know about nutrition. All the nutrition science is rubbish. All of it. Partly because they don't ever do randomized trials. Like, so how can you can see what people eat, you can correlate with an outcome. It's completely useless. It's completely misleading. You have no idea, because there's nothing controlled. People who eat more beef have more heart disease. It's like, what else are they doing? Well, 1,000 other things.
Yeah.
Well, how do you control for all 1,000? Well, you do random assignation to group. It's the only way to control it. There's no other way. The correlational studies are useless. They're useless, and there's hundreds of them. And, the idea that you need fiber, it's like, no, you don't. That's wrong. And are plants necessary? Doesn't appear to be. You can live on meat. Carbohydrates, there's no recommended daily allowance for carbohydrates. 0. There's no recommended daily allowance. You don't need them. They're not vital. So can you run on protein metabolism? Yes. Does your brain prefer it? Yes. Does it reduce seizure activity? That's been known for a century. So, I talked to a psychiatrist at McLean's Hospital. So that's the premier psychiatric institute in the U.S. He's starting a treatment center at McLean's based on essentially on a carnivore diet to treat endogenous depression, right? So that's depression that has no obvious stress-related cause, manic depressive disorder, and schizophrenia. I've never believed those were psychological diseases. I thought, no, there's something wrong, especially with schizophrenia and manic depressive disorder. Well, depression too, for that matter. We know that it's associated with inflammation. That's been known for a long time. So he thinks they're metabolic diseases, and he thinks he can treat them with the carnivore diet. So there are serious people taking a look at this. And then there's all the, people say, well, anecdotes aren't data. It's like, fair enough, but when you have like 2,000 or 3,000 of them, they're suggestive of a hypothesis. That's right. You're going to derive your hypotheses from observation.
Yeah. When I interviewed my wife and we talked about her carnivore diet, you're used to getting people snarky and contradicting in the comment section. You know, that's where people go to do that sort of thing. But I'd say 99% of people who had the exact same story as her. Yeah. Well, and I've met literally hundreds of people on my tour. They show me pictures. I lost 150 pounds in 1 year. Like, they're shell shocked, right? Yeah. Well, when I started it, I lost 50 pounds in 7 months. And I had gone for a year before that. I ate no sugar and I didn't lose an ounce, nothing, which was very disappointing, I didn't gain any weight, but I didn't lose it, and I'd gained weight, people gain weight as they age, pound a year, let's say. Well, over 40 years, I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am now. It all disappeared in 7 months. It was shocking. I have the same physique that I did when I was 25.
It's like, that's pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
60. I gain
Yeah, you
muscle
look great.
mass. It's
Yes.
ridiculous.
So I did it for the month of January,
Yeah.
and I gave up. Even though I felt better, I could
Yeah.
recall things faster. I decided I don't need to do this. I don't want to do
Yeah.
it. So I don't want to be optimal. Was
Yeah.
basically what I concluded, because I would rather have a beer every now and again or something else.
Yeah.
But I actually got really sick of meat. In the beginning, I loved it. Absolutely, as red as you can get it. And then I had this, I don't know what they call it, like meat phobia, meat fatigue. I don't know. I got to a point where the idea of eating meat was disgusting. Did you go through that?
No, I wouldn't say so. I've been fortunate to not have that happen. That kind of happened to Michaela, my daughter, when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
But, people's food preferences tend to change dramatically when they're pregnant. So
Yes.
God only knows what that means. No, I don't get tired of meat. And
Great.
The diet could be worse. I could be eating nothing but porridge.
Yes.
If you have to
Good
eat
way to
one
look at it.
thing,
Yeah. Steak will do.
well, right.